Let's now head to the historical and charming Normandy Coast in France, a trip that Ryan and I have both been wanting to make for a while. Using a 4-day weekend as a base, we took one extra day for this trip, turning it into a 5-day getaway, which is the bare minimum I would recommend, as it includes a lot of driving time. We started our trip on a Thursday evening after work, with a long 6-hour drive to Amiens. We used credit card points to book a hotel here overnight, got up, had some coffee and breakfast at a cute local bakery, and spent a little time walking through the town.
All right, we are on day 2 of our Normandy road trip. Last night we stayed at Amiens, and hi Heidi! The kids did great on the road yesterday. It was about 6 hours of driving yesterday, and then we have a total of 3 today. But we're on our way right now to Etretat. That is all.
And we are behind the tracker.
We then made our way to Etretat, a cute coastal town with these incredible stone beaches and towering white cliffs. Our family had so much fun playing on the beach and splashing in the water. We grabbed a quick bite to eat in town before heading out on another hour drive to the port town of Honfleur. This charming old town had East Coast vibes, beautiful old buildings, shops, and some really delicious French treats. There was also a double-decker carousel right in the harbor that we took a few rides on. After another trip to the bakery, we drove one more hour right to Omaha Beach, where we ate some dinner, walked around, and then enjoyed the sunset before heading to our Airbnb for the night. Our Airbnb was great and only about a 5-minute drive from Omaha Beach. The next morning, we got up, had coffee, and headed over to the Airborne Museum, which was probably the coolest and most well-done museum I've ever been to.
Saying this, okay, come on.
Okay, let's go.
It was very cool to watch both Levi and Ryan get super excited about the military vehicles and aircraft. And even though the kids didn't give me much time to stop and read, I was still able to learn quite a bit and really enjoyed this museum. There were a few buildings here that had some loud exhibits that were a little scary for Levi, but overall he had a great time. After more delicious French food, we made our way to the Azeville Battery, where you're able to walk in the tunnels and bunkers with a handheld history guide. After this, we decided to go down to Utah Beach, where Levi and I stayed and hung out by the water while Dad and Heidi took on the landing museum. By this point, we were all pretty tired and stopped at this little castle pop-up dinner spot. It was such a cool place, and it sounds like they're going to turn it into a hotel. We were able to try some local hard ciders, wines, and juices here as well, a specialty of the Normandy area. After another night in our Airbnb, we packed up and went to check out the Normandy American Cemetery. It was pretty impactful to see the rows and rows of headstones, and led to some challenging conversations with Levi about death and war. I couldn't think of a better place to be able to teach him about some of these complicated concepts. We stopped to check out the nearby Overlord Museum, which was less impressive than the Airborne Museum, but still had some interesting exhibits and a heavy focus on vehicles, which Levi really enjoyed. We then made a few more quick stops to check out the Long-Saint-Michel Battery and the Mulberry Harbors, which are temporary, mobile harbors constructed by the British used to facilitate the rapid offloading of cargo onto the beaches. There's so much history in this area and so many museums. If you really love World War II history, you could easily spend a week or two just by the D-Day beaches. Up next, we drove another hour and a half down to Mont-Saint-Michel. The history of this impressive island starts back in the year 708, and soon thereafter it became a popular pilgrimage site. We opted to walk the bridge out to the abbey, which offered some pretty impressive views, but also involved a very grumpy toddler, so we took the free trolley on the way back. When you walk through the gates, it feels like you've walked into a Harry Potter movie, with all the beautiful medieval architecture and surroundings. The only downside to this place was that it was absolutely packed, especially on the main walking area. We were able to sit down at a little restaurant for some lunch and walk around the outer walls of the abbey before heading back to the car. Definitely worth a visit, but I think the best part was just seeing the place from afar alongside the sheep. After some more time exploring the countryside, it was finally time to head home. So we drove another 5 hours or so to the town of Troyes, where we had a pretty sketchy hotel experience. But we all survived the night and the final 6-hour drive home the following day. Ryan and I both agreed that Normandy was one of our favorite trips since moving abroad. However, the drive time and effort to get to this area makes it kind of tricky. The French countryside has to be the most charming area in the world, and the Normandy Coast was a good mix of history, impressive sights, coastal beaches, slow country drives, biscuits, and cider. Stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe if you want to follow along with more of our adventures around Europe.